Video game consoles. You know them, some of them you love, some of them you hate. But there's one thing they all have in common. They can be dated back to a single console in the 70s. The Magnavox Odyssey. That is supposed to be a joke, as most people know about the Atari Pong. However, the first real console was the Magnavox Odyssey.
Released in 1972, the Brown Box, which was its prototype name, was created years prior in 1967, introduced light gun for home systems.
And after the Magnavox, which was really revolutionary for its time, as I'm pretty sure was really the first at-home game console, because there weren't really many games around and there wasn't many TV, but the second console was the Atari, which really revolutionized the industry, as it introduced Atari Pong and just so many different games that led to many manufacturers getting in onto the video game industry.
In the same year, the Calico Telstar released a series of game consoles with games ranging from Pong variants to racing to light gun shooter games. There's about 14 different consoles in this time area, from 1976 to 1978.
And many consoles either die out or they stop selling. That one, however, died out kind of fast, mainly because in 1977, the second Atari came out with a more wide variety of different games. It still included the original Pong variant, but one of the games it really used to up its popularity was the fabled E.T. game, which everyone knows and everyone definitely loves.
In the same year, 1977, Nintendo Color TV Game was a series of consoles that ran games from Pong to racing alongside Nintendo's first arcade game.
And Nintendo, obviously, a very big company and made a lot of things. However, after the Nintendo, the first official Nintendo came out, it was a revitalized version of the first game console ever made. The Magnavox Odyssey came out in 1978, which was an up on its predecessor, the Brown Box, which in my opinion is a terrible name. But it really helped signify that the video game console wars were starting, even if it will be in the late 70s.
In 1978, just a year later, the Microvision was the first handheld console that used interchangeable cartridges. It had 12 games and was created by the Milton Bradley Company.
And after the Microvision was the first attempt at Nintendo to make a big home console for families. It's the Famicom, or as some people know it, the family computer. It's about the same as a console we'll get to next, but there are some slight differences that really make them different consoles. And this console really revolutionized the industry when it came out in 1985.
The Nintendo Entertainment System launches as a price at $149. This is about $415 today, and the console was revolutionary in the gaming industry as it signified its launch for one of the most popular game series of all time, being Mario.
Mario's still going today. I love Mario, I'm just going to say that. However, the start of this next game console started my most beloved game franchise ever. The Sega came out, the Sega Mark III. The first console by Sega, even though it really didn't start the Sonic games, as I'm pretty sure there was not a Sonic game on the console. It was mainly created to really go against the NES, because the NES was very popular at the time. And let's just say it may or may not have failed, but it led to different consoles by Sega, which a lot of people like.
In 1988, the Sega Genesis started the series of Sonic, and also featured a home version of Mortal Kombat, sparking controversy and leading to the ESRB creation.
Yeah, and that's really big in the gaming industry because it allows people to see what games are for mature audiences and what games can be played for everybody. However, as I said, this was really the big Sega console. There were so many games, so many people love it. You have Sonic, Mortal Kombat, so many beloved franchises on one console. And in 1989, Nintendo created their first handheld console, being that of the Game Boy. And it really revolutionized the handheld gaming, as the first of the Pokemon game series really sparked a lot of different ideas in the minds of game developers.
In the same year, the Atari Lynx came out, coming up with new technical features that will further develop the gaming community. There's the first backlit display, switchable configurations with the controllers, and network connectivity that led up to 17 other Lynx being able to be controlled together.
And in 1990, the Super NES revitalized all of the ideas that came with the NES and really upgraded on all of them with the best graphics you see in game consoles at the time, many different new games, and more of the classics. You have more Mario games, whether it be the original or the new ones. I mean, the Super NES just had a lot.
In 1991, the Philips CDI is a CD console developed by Philips, Sony, Magnavox, which was such a commercial veil because of their take on Nintendo's Legend of Zelda and Hotel Mario.
In 1993, the next console in Atari's generation, the Atari Jaguar, was a 64-bit gaming console, which revolutionized the industry because of the 64-bit games. Most games were in 32-bit or even lower at the time, and the Atari Jaguar led to manufacturers really seeing that the 64-bit would be popular within the audience that they were created for.
In 1994, the PlayStation was originally developed by the CD-ROM of Nintendo before being canceled, and then later PlayStation was the first console manufactured by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was the best-selling console of the time, being the first console to ever sell 100 million copies.
And in 1995, Nintendo created the Nintendo Virtual Boy, the first portable visual reality console, which had monochromatic red and black, while the product was really supposed to simulate three-dimensional objects, and it really led to the popularity of the 3DS, which we'll get to later.